Hey guys, Dave again. Welcome back to the channel. So I guess a bunch of you really liked that Afghans in Wyoming video, and you all got together and sent me the same tweet about truck drivers in California, particularly the ones around the port. So I went ahead and dug into this tweet and found an absolute bombshell in there. So let's dive into that, break down what's going on with this trucking shortage. Okay, let's dive into this tweet. I will bring it up, the one that you all sent me repeatedly, which I appreciate. Love when you guys do this. Gives me an excuse to try to flex the 4 brain cells that I have. But the thing I found that is the absolute bombshell centers around the driver shortage, which is this piece up here. I'm gonna save that to the end. Sorry, I know some of you guys really like the payout up front, but you're gonna have to fast forward to the end or stick around to the end of the video, preferably, if you wanna find out what that is. But let's dive into the rest of this tweet, sort of break down. There's definitely some misleading pieces here, and then we'll circle back around and I'll give you that bombshell. All right, so in this tweet from Jerry Oakley, the news says California port situation is caused by a driver shortage. We're gonna cover that. Not so fast. It is in part caused by California truck ban, which says all trucks must be 2011 or newer, and a law called AB 5, which prohibits owner-operators. So let's go into this California truck ban first. So if we come over here and we look at this, a guide to California's clean air regulation for heavy duty diesel vehicles, this is the one I believe he is referring to. So if we dive down into this and we look at drayage trucks, what's a drayage truck? So basically a drayage trucks are on-road diesel fueled heavy duty trucks that transport containers and bulk to and from ports and intermodal rail yards, as well as many other locations. So these are the particular trucks that unload the ships. Diesel trucks are broken down into different classes, 3 through 8. Drayage trucks fall primarily in that 7 to 8 classification range. If we come over here and we look at the clean air piece, by January 1, 2023, so we've still got a year and some change there, all class 7 and 8 diesel fueled drayage trucks must have 2010 or newer engines. Trucks with 2010 or newer engines are fully compliant with both the truck and bus and drayage regulations. So strike one for Jerry, 2011. It's actually 2010. Kind of splitting hairs here a little bit, but that's a strike as far as not quite being authentic goes. So let's take a look next at the law called AB 5, which prohibits owner-operators. If we come over here and we look at that, worker classification and AB 5. AB 5 stands for Assembly Bill 5, which is the one that passed to put this into place. Basically, if you think back, it's a lot like the Uber law that went in last year, where Uber basically tried to classify what were ultimately deemed employees as independent contractors. The same sort of thing kind of goes on in the drayage industry or the port industry. So basically, let's take a look. AB 5 is a bill the governor signed into law in September 2019 addressing employment status when a hiring entity claims that the person is hired is an independent contractor. So basically, this law put some tests in place to not let that sort of happen. And this all stemmed off of a court case of Dynamics Operations West versus Superior Court. So Dynamics was basically a same-day delivery company that just straight up reclassified all of their employees as independent contractors, which thus unlawfully deprived of employment protections under California's wage orders. Dynamics lost this case, and subsequently AB 5 was introduced to address this issue going forward. Now, if we come over here and we look, this is some of the bill text, but basically in it, it highlights the mistreatment of port drayage drivers has been known for more than a decade, and the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach attempted to address misclassification of drayage drivers in 2008 through their Clean Air Action Plan by requiring drivers to be classified as employees. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals struck down that requirement. So basically, this makes Jerry's claim not 100% truth on the up and up. It basically is a reclassification scenario going on here. It's not that owner-operators have been prohibited. It's that, this bill doesn't let port operators make all of their employees independent contractors to avoid paying payroll taxes and some other things. A lot of these port shipping operators, basically, they would own the trucks and then they would sublease them to these mostly immigrant employees and then charge them exorbitant fees, almost negating their salary. So basically, the guys were just working to pay off the truck, which ultimately in the end, they were told they would own the truck. So just some shady business practices that this kind of eliminated. You can still be an owner-operator and do this. As far as I can tell, I have not found anything that says that you can't be. So I don't know that I entirely agree with Jerry's assessment there that this has banned all owner-operators. Yeah, so Jerry not looking good. Let's dive into some more of this tweet. It does go on to a second tweet. Traditionally, the ports have been served by owner-operators that are now banned owner-operators. We just addressed that, so we kind of dug through that. Long-term truckers in California are not investing in new trucks because California law that makes them illegal in 2035. So we come over here and we look at this Ars Technica, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, website. It helps us break down further some of this law that's going on. So basically, the trucks aren't outlawed by 2035. By 2035, CARB says that 55% of all Class 2B, 2B to 3 trucks, so think Super Duty Fords, that kind of stuff. 75% of all Class 4 through Class 8 trucks, which are the ones we're focusing on here. Those 7 and 8s are really where we're at. Vans, and 40% of all Class 7 and 8 trucks, sold have to be electric. So basically, not all of the trucks are outlawed by 2035. They're actually outlawed by 2045. So that's quite, if you've got a 2010 truck and it's not outlawed until 2045, you get 35 years out of that truck. That's a useful life for a truck. So Jerry kind of oversold us here on the 2035. Really, it's 2045. And that's 75% is only new truck sales. So you've got quite a bit of time going on here where this isn't quite a thing. And if we take a look at truck sales, I don't know that I entirely agree with Jerry there as well either. So if we look at, 2019, Class 8 trucks, 276,000 Class 8 semi-trucks were sold. 2020, 192,000 trucks were sold. Now, yes, that is a drop, but if we come over here and also look at the Federal Reserve website for producer price index, we can see that what happened in 2020, we had a major pandemic, producer prices dropped. You're not out buying new trucks last year if you don't know if you're going to be able to ship them or use them or put them into, their useful life and get a return on those. So to see a drop, I actually don't feel like the drop was that bad considering how we saw prices sort of fall across the board here. We're seeing a spike. I would expect that we would see a spike in the sales of trucks, assuming that you can get them with the chip shortage. Now, there may be some there, but based on truck sales that we look over here in Statista.com, I don't know who comes up with these website names, we can see that a fair bit of trucks are being sold. I wouldn't say that there's a major drop off. If we look at 2017, we sold the same number of Class 8 trucks that we did last year. So again, I don't know that I agree with Jerry's statement here either. So it continues to run down into here. Just the requirement is to purchase electric trucks which do not exist. They're coming. They're working on those. This requirement will definitely drive innovation and, capital inflows. I feel like that one's just kind of anecdotal. Not a lot there to kind of go with. Electric trucks do exist. You know, they're basically short haul trucks at this point. They're not long haul trucks. So there is some validity to this, though, I don't know, same kind of deal. But anyway, so that's the tweet. That's the tweet as far as the trucking piece goes down. Now, I promised you guys a payout when it comes to the news says the California port situation is caused by a driver shortage. So there is a website over here, resources.coyote.com. What's driving the driver shortage in 2021? Infographic of 6 key challenges. So if we look, they do a great job of breaking down what's currently going on with attracting new talent to the truck driver pool. So 57% of drivers are over 45, 23% are over 55, and only 20% are under 45. There's a lot of competition from blue-collar jobs. Younger workers are entering the logistics industry, but they are gravitating towards warehousing. That's going to be key. Remember that. We're going to come back to that. So we can come down here and see where the job postings are occurring. Basically, they're having to post 9 times for every 1 hire. If you look at warehousing, they're posting once and they're getting 2 hires for each posting. A big piece that's really sort of driving this, a lot of these truck driving companies, they want you to have a CDL already. A lot of the rules have changed. Getting a CDL is expensive up front. It takes a lot of time. You know, they're not willing to train. So some of that's causing a problem, and it's causing people to not be interested in this. The other big thing that's going on in the truck driving industry, people don't want to do long haul truck driving. They want to be home at night. They want to be with their families. You know, a long haul truck driver is gone for a week or more at a time. So, you know, the short routes are being filled. It's these long routes that are causing a lot of this gap. And if we go back and we take a look at this particular piece here, but they are gravitating towards warehousing. Who's the major warehousing hiring entity right now going on in the country? Think about it. They're buying up malls. They're turning them into distribution centers. They're turning them into warehouses. Who is it? It's Amazon. These people that would typically be going into the trucking industry are going to work in Amazon fulfillment centers. They're making relatively the same amount of money. They're home at night. They're not having to be gone from their families. If we look, 1 out of every 153 American workers is an Amazon employee. Just absolutely startling number. Amazon employs 950,000 workers in the US, and that doesn't count the holiday workers. People are abandoning the trucking industry to take warehousing jobs in Amazon fulfillment centers. Again, Amazon is just rocking the economy. I mean, it's such a behemoth, such a Goliath. More people work for Amazon than are employed in the entire residential construction industry. More people work for one company than an entire industry. And that's a big industry. So that's the bombshell there. Yes, there is a trucker shortage. No, Jerry's tweet is not 100% factually correct. Hopefully that explained some of that. But Amazon seems to be one of the reasons that there's a trucking shortage. They've just found an alternative that works better for them. And those are the guys doing it. So I don't see this getting any better anytime soon as far as trucking shortage goes at least on the long haul side. The short haul side doesn't seem to be as big an issue. But I don't know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you don't agree with me or you do agree with me, throw it down in the comments. Let me know. If I missed something, let me know. You know, I always love hearing from you guys. I love all the feedback we get. I love the little community we got going on here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you in the next one.